This is a book called Burning Spear by Beryl Roberts. It's really a diary of an event, well, an experience that happened to me and my firstborn, who's now 25. The thing is, it has been published in 2014 by Tamaray House Publishers. They're on Brixton Station Road, 25A Brixton Station Road. The name of the shop has been changed for some reason. The director of the publishers is called Paul Simons. He also answers to the name of Nebu, N-E-B-U. He's the one who's supposed to have published my work, genuinely, but he's run off with my work. And all that money that I paid, he didn't even get it back. I didn't even get it back. He didn't reimburse me or anything. He basically took my money, took my work, and just cleared off. He's the director of Tamaray House by the name of Paul Simons. I'm going to read the synopsis of the back of this book. He's also probably advertising it on Google, taking people's payments and not probably giving them their book. I don't know that for a fact. I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing that. Anyway, I'm going to read the synopsis and then I'm going to read the rest of it, which is what I read on the Supreme Radio. I read it on Supreme Radio a few years ago. I'm now going to read the back. This diary exposes the beginning of the never-ending downward spiral, which is the corrupt system that was deliberately put in place for the black boy child from before I myself was born, and now I am in my 40s. It proves how separation can emerge between the boy and the parent, only to leave the boy psychologically damaged once we as parents are unaware of what is happening to our sons within the so-called education system, with us parents thinking that we have a problem child. The sole aim of this conspiracy is for us as parents to not understand our sons and then reject them and consequently give up on them from the age of innocence, which is what I almost did with my son Dominic, so that not only will our families end up in a state of disrepair, but also our sons will have nothing to move on to in life but the system, as all sorts of negativity will have already manifested in the boy's life from both sides, such as rejection, anger, low self-esteem, and the list can even go on. But to sum it all up, degradation to the extreme. Black boys aren't failing in schools, they are being failed. So it's the educational system that is wrong, and the educational system knows that. I am sure that every other black man who is probably in prison or on the downward spiral of the mental health system or hard done has an experience to tell or share. I tell you, to be able to hold up a black man child in the midst of all kinds of racial grievances and against all odds ought to be the pride and joy of black women. As we brought them into this world, so we ought to fight for and represent them. That is what you can read for yourself if you go on Google and type up Burning Spear by Beryl Roberts. I'm going to read the rest of what I wrote, should I say, of what I read on the radio a few years ago. As we brought them into this world, so we ought to fight for and represent them. But do we? Do many of us black mothers at least talk to our sons and warn them about what the system is succeeding at what they do to black boys and to black men? I think not. Only a few of us do. If we black women would love, value, respect, behave, and conduct ourselves, instead of running away from ourselves by hiding behind wigs, draft excluder eyelashes, parrot claws, then not only would black men respect, protect, and cherish us, but we would also be passing something down to our children, then down to our grandchildren, and so on. That way, we will be able to prevent the system from hacking into our families and plundering our sons, just so that the system can cash in on our sons in more ways than one. And that way, we would be teaching our sons to man up if he was seeing self-respect in us black women. I'm not saying that it's wrong to enhance ourselves, and I do bear in mind those women who have medical conditions. After all, our hair is a part of our body. But for crying out loud, there are many of us women who exaggerate needlessly. Unconscious black women, not able to see themselves the way God himself sees us. A beautiful creation. As for myself, many times my hair is not combed for whatever reason, but I would put on a hat, hood, or scarf, even this turban that I have on right now, but never ever somebody else's identity. Gone are the days when daughters would wear ring combs, ribbons, hair slides, beads. Now all we are seeing is heads being crowned with dead roosters, wild geese, porcupines, sheep, wolves, and all sorts of stuffed animals. Even maggot-infested weaves from a corpse. I find this embarrassing and sad. Now that's what I call depending on the government. Isn't it them who provide these things in the first place? Not to mention the negative self-hatred attitude to match. If this is what a woman has going on in the outside, then what's going on the inside? Sorry to write this, but the truth is that that is the black man's downfall, and that is why a lot of black men end up running away and staying away from us. If any black woman dislikes what's written and what I'm saying, then I suggest that she looks at herself in the mirror and see how beautiful she truly is, without all these things which are not enriching yourself, but only enriching other communities who are cashing in on us, laughing at us, and wondering about us. Do you not realize that we make ourselves everybody else's source of wealth and always have done? Do you not realize that that's how the system operates? In many, many cases, the educational system psychologically dismantles the black boy child. Not only is he excluded from school, but he is also excluded within the school. This then causes a multitude of problems. And guess what? Guess what happens after that? The police, mental health system, and the home-wrecking social services are then able to swing into action. The police and mental health system cannot just hack into a boy's life when he's too young, although they would love to. So they depend on the educational system to act first. This is what has already happened in the lives of many black boys who are now young and grown men. Education is key, but the system is the lock. Many black women are blindly allowing this to happen by diverting their attention from their sons to these stupid-looking appearances that only make them look old, dirty, scruffy, and daft. There are very few of us black women who can actually see what's going on concerning the system. It is the self-hatred of a lot of black women that others are cashing in on. Let me ask this question. Why do you think that even though we all know that bleaching creams are bad for our skin and weaves have been known to cause damage to the hair and scalp, yet they are still being sold in shops? Why? Because when damage has been done to the hair and skin, and if any woman finally wakes up and realizes that what she's doing is ridiculous, and then starts to buy the right products for the hair and skin in an attempt to repair herself, she can actually buy back her identity. Can you now see how the slavery mentality always has been and always will be embedded in the system? So much so that the system wants to sell our very own identity back to us. Even that. But if the black woman wants to spend money on these things, what can anyone do except run away? When a man is being run down for child maintenance, I bet that's where the money goes. I will even admit this. The way many of us black women behave is animalistic and sickening. It's almost impossible for anybody else to respect us when we don't even respect our own selves. I thank God that not all of us behave that way. Black women, please wake up. This is a very big problem for black males, to the point of them not wanting to live anymore, as he has suffered with so much racial grievances, and if we are not strong for them, then what else are they to do? I'm not talking about those men who choose to abandon their families. I'm not talking about them at all. I do agree that men do need to man up and take responsibility the way a man should. This is what many of us women are coming out with. At the same time, what we women are forgetting is that we black people are on European and American soil. Therefore, every black male, boy, youth, and man is at risk of suffering an injustice if it hasn't happened to him already. So yes, we black mothers do have to be a lot stronger for our sons, whether a man chooses to abandon us black women or not. Black woman, love yourself. Stop this foolishness. This is weak-mindedness. Wake up, fight for your sons. Realize that you are allowing the system to play with your mind. If we don't, then we are joining the system and helping them to stop our sons from developing psychologically. These type of women who do these things are the system's right hand. This is what I just wrote on a piece of paper in case you want to pause and take down the title. The Erswick School is a bad school, and the Erswick School is a bad school 2, 3, and 4. This is the title of the videos, short videos that I made. It's about what's going on concerning me and my sons and the system. The secondary school that they have been kicked out. They haven't had an education since May 2016. This is a situation that I am going through. Have a look at what's going on in Hackney.